Hey, what's up guys? UrAvgWarGamer is back with another video of World of Warships. And in this video, I'm going to be featuring Malta, that is a tier 10 British aircraft carrier, and it is currently available for gold. And I'm featuring this video so you can able to get some decent tips and tactics how to play this ship pretty effectively, because I haven't seen many carrier gameplays in the internet, particularly on YouTube. So I decided that I should make a bit more videos so that you can actually able to get some value that how Malta should be played. And honestly, I have stated this multiple times in my older videos that Malta is one of the most strongest aircraft carriers at tier 10. Obviously, as an aircraft carrier, you can have this flexibility to basically drop a strike on any target. And as you can see, I'm dropping this Hindenburg particularly right now. And by the way, I'm using these rockets that have only 28mm penetration, which basically doesn't give a whole lot of damage to this Hindenburg, because at tier 10, cruisers typically have armor that is 30mm in plating. So I can't pen his deck, but certainly a superstructure is easy to be vulnerable. And then I talk about these rockets against destroyers because they are really effective against destroyers as well. As you can see, I have chunked this Chang'u, which is a tier 9 Pan-Asian destroyer. Did some decent damage, and this poor guy, he's trying to disengage, but you can see that these rockets having very good HP, like this British rockets, particularly all armaments have really strong tanky HP numbers, so which basically means that they are not very easy to get shot down, because these are the characteristics of a typical British aircraft carrier. British planes are a lot much more tankier in this game. I mean, the Hakuryu, which is a Japanese carrier, they are typically having very less HP. Then we have Midway, which is basically a tier 10 tactical aircraft carrier. Slightly better HP than Hakuryu, but the British aircraft carriers, Audacious, Malta, these are all Royal Navy carriers, which having a lot much HP pool. And well, certainly Malta also have this feature. Now, coming up to the torpedo bombers, I have used the rockets. They are good against destroyers and light cruisers, and sometimes even heavy cruisers to set fires or battleships on superstructure. But these torpedo bombers are probably the bread and butter of this carrier, because, well, as you can see, they deal a lot of damage. 6,533 damage basically means that if you're able to drop 4 torpedoes on a single target, which hopefully I will be able to showcase you in this game, well, you can actually able to do massive damage on a single strike. And remember, you have 3 strikes, right? And in this case, I'm dropping the Iwami. I pop the heal, by the way. I mean, it also comes up with heal, and heal does help me to basically survive my planes a lot much more longer in Johan de Witt defensive AA fire. And as you can see, that I easily able to pass through defensive AA. But I think in this case, I have taken direct damage from this defensive AA of Johan de Witt, and that's the reason why I have taken some damage and didn't able to get a full strike through. Still, regardless, 6 torpedo hits definitely hurt this Iwami. And torpedoes, by the way, they're not healable, right? You cannot heal them, because if they hit directly into your thick armor profile, I mean, it will basically be considered as a citadel damage. So it basically means that you cannot heal that back. You can heal back technically, but it is only 10%, and hence the reason why one of the enemy players saying that please do not try to farm me or focus me. And that's the problem, because if the carrier focuses you, the spotting potentially can be a big problem. Now, in this case, I'm using AP bombers. Now, AP bombers are already really good on Malta, right? Malta basically can able to citadel, Minotaur, or any light cruiser like Jinan, Austin, a lot more light cruisers. Even some of the Japanese light cruisers like Takahashi and Yodo, these are all very vulnerable. Some of the ships like Zhao, Hindenburg, they are less vulnerable, but still I have gotten some citadel hits like 1 or 2 in a strike, which still does give decent damage. You can do like 10,000-11,000 even on those ships as well. But I mean, if you drop on battleships like I did on Iwami, you can see how much I get penetration hits, because you drop 15 bombs. And remember, they have nerfed these bombers, AP bombs, in terms of their payload. Like, it used to be 20, now it has at least 15 AP bombs on its payload in a single strike, and you can do 3 strikes. So obviously that means that at most you can actually deliver 2 strikes with 30 bombs, right? Which is pretty insane. Like a light cruiser taking maybe 15 to 20,000 damage in just a drop, and the second drop does the same, means that he'll lose basically almost 70, maybe 60-70% of his HP, and sometimes even more if you are lucky to get more Citadel hits. Now in this case, I'm dropping this Hindenburg with torpedo bombers, and one torpedo does so much damage that Hindenburg is literally dead with just a single torpedo hit. So it's pretty insane. And then I have 2 strikes left, particularly right now, so I can just go and drop this Changmu here. And obviously, one more interesting thing is that you can actually maneuver these torpedoes while not losing the aim. In this case, once this cone, this reticle gets narrower, then you're basically able to maneuver your torpedo bombers like FDR. Like FDR, this having this feature as well. And you can do this same thing with this, Malta torpedo bombers, which is also insane. And well, you can actually maneuver and sometimes have a really good chance in taking out these destroyers with the torpedo bombers. Now, in this case, Changmu actually trying to do really well, trying to dodge the torpedo bombers. But unfortunately, I have another thing, which is fighter planes. They are spotter planes, fighter planes, whatever you call it. Like, these are patrol fighters that are actually used to counter fighters. But unfortunately, in this case, since the spotting is currently an issue in the World of Warships, I'm just I literally dropped that in front of Changmu, and look at the Changmu. He's taking damage from Sherman, my division mate, and this spotting actually literally going to kill him in just a couple of seconds. He smoked up, I think, and Changmu, even though disengages, but the firepower of the Sherman, we all know that it's enough to basically kill this poor Changmu, and he manages to kill him. Now I'm dropping this Minotaur with AP bombs, right? AP bombs are some of the most disgusting feature for Malta. Like, you can get like that much damage. Look at that, I did at least 12k damage, and that was not a good hit. Like, it's not a really good hit. And on top of that, this Minotaur is trying to disengage and trying to run away, and I can still drop a couple of bomb hits, and I'm not sure how much I will do damage. Again, 2 Citadel hits, so it's like again 9,000. So this poor guy, who is trying to use the islands and is trying to play the nice game right now in Minotaur, actually didn't manage to do anything, and he has taken so much damage, particularly Citadel damage, that, well, he can heal back a bit. Like, even he's saying in the chat that Malta is so balanced, and yeah, he basically is trying to use it as a sarcastic point of view, and he's saying that, yeah, Malta is actually broken. And in some ways, Malta is really broken. And I mean, spotting does even add more brokenness in this ship for sure. And this poor UrAvgWarGamer, as you can see, he's trying to run away, pop defensive AA. My heal pops up, and even the midway put the fighter, which is actually the right thing to do. But still, I don't care. I want to basically kill this UrAvgWarGamer, and the torpedo strike of the Malta is really good enough that even only 3 torpedoes are enough to kill this poor UrAvgWarGamer. Remember, torpedo bombers does 6,533 damage. That is insane. Like, I mean, if you hit these torpedo bombers on anything, I mean, he will die eventually. I mean, he can literally take 21, 22k damage, especially heavy cruisers, because they don't usually have really thick armor belt. Like, they cannot have this torpedo belt that is strong enough. So unfortunately, he's dead. And now Minotaur actually smoked up, which actually, oh, never mind. I just thought that he might smoked up, but that is probably the smoke of Z-44, a destroyer, the German destroyer on the corner of A. And again, I come up with these AP bombs, which are actually like cruiser's nightmare, to be honest. And he's trying to disengage. And look at my angle of dropping this Minotaur. Absolutely terrible angle. He's basically not bowing, and still you can do like what? Some damage, like 5,000, which again is a problem. On top of that, you also spotting him. So, I mean, where is gonna go, right? Look at that. I still have enough tankiness. Never mind. Someone just killed him. So, spotting literally killed him, because obviously poor Minotaur and its hull. And look at that. I just changed my drop towards the, towards the battleship. Did some damage because I was not having this proper angle to aim him on the bow. So, didn't get a lot of damage, but again, regardless, I just get some value, and at the end that does help. So yeah, even though I have basically come into the defensive area UrAvgWarGamer, I also have eaten a whole patrol fighter squad and he shoot down some of my planes. I still have almost full planes in my squadron, like just 2 less out of 12. That is insane because Malta has very much high number of planes on deck and also have really insane regen time. Let me show you the regen time real quick so that you can actually able to understand. Torpedo bombers have 57 seconds of aircraft preparation time. AP bombs have even low 46 seconds, which basically makes light cruisers even life more harder. And then you also have rockets, which is almost having the similar aircraft preparation time like torpedo bombers. So it is insane. And this Imami, well, I'm dropping these torpedo bombers on Imami. Try to press the F button quickly so that the midway planes doesn't get tagged. And look at the damage. Basically almost killed this poor Imami, and he's almost dead. Now I'm not sure if he is dead right now, but well, he will eventually die. He's behind the island. That's basically ultimately going to happen. Now, this is the power of Malta. You can basically counter every single ship class in the game. Everything. And by the way, you can also counter aircraft carriers very nicely. Because, well, if you send the torpedo bombers, you know that they can do literally 21,000 damage on a single strike. So you can basically 1/3 chunk HP of its carrier, like literally, because typically they have 66,000 to 70,000 HP at tier 10 aircraft carriers. So you can imagine the damage output that Malta torpedo bombers currently have in the game. It's insane. And now Imami obviously going to die. He has low HP, and this Vermont and Midway, who are actually a bit aggressive, sort of, like he's trying to push in so that they can actually able to do some valuable damage or tank some damage in this game. But again, I'm spotting them. They are not able to disengage, and I'm trying to spot this Z44. And poor guy, he's trying to go maybe drop the Takahashi or Schlieffen, get completely off guard, like caught off guard by my rocket planes. And this poor guy having very low HP, but he can do anything. Like in this case, he's absolutely hopeless to do anything. And right now, I'm just gonna go and drop this guy. Like, look at that. So go and drop this guy real quick. Remember, these rocket planes also have very low pre-firing time of 3 seconds, which basically means that you also have really easy time to aim on destroyers. And that's pretty insane as well. So these all factors combined with the fact that you can counter light cruisers, heavy cruisers, battleships, destroyers, aircraft carriers means that you are insanely powerful in this game. You can division with anyone, and you can get you can give so much value to your team if you're a good CV player, that obviously it basically makes carriers the most effective in terms of making a really good game impact in the game. And this is true still right now. And well, as you can see, I just got a fire on this Vermont. Just use the rockets. I mean, rockets even on a superstructure give me a lot of penetration damage, and I have a permanent fire. And that's the reason why you should use rockets on battleships, because well, they can set permanent fires if they haven't, like if they have damage control, maybe a flood or fire before. And this Vermont, he's trying to disengage. Poor guy, pushed in, and he's dead now. It's almost dead. I'm actually burning him down to death, I think. But never mind, he killed our Schlieffen, but eventually he will die. He's healing back, but never mind, he will eventually die. It's pretty much apparently right now looking to be, that thing. So I will go now with torpedo bombers against Wisconsin. Now, one more thing or powerful thing about aircraft carriers is that you can make crossfires at will. And you can just do that at any point in the game. Like in this case, Wisconsin wants to be angled against Goudeleu, right? And even though he has decent AA, he's not popping defensive AA, I'm not sure why. But I do have a heal, and I just dropped the torpedo bombers on top of his ship. And well, as you can see, he literally actually trying to dodge these torpedo bombers so that he will have a bit more chance to survive. But now he's actually broadsiding the Goudeleu, like completely flat. And that's the thing that you do not want to be in as a battleship player. But unfortunately, he decided to take my torpedoes, and he's dead. Again, crossfires at will. You have done that, and I got 4 kills. So the game is pretty much looking like it's going to be over. And it will be. but you can see the damage output that you can actually do with Malta. It is really strong. And if you know how to play this ship like me, you can actually have insane game impact. You can do really, really good. It is super strong right now in the game. I won't say like stupidly brokenly overpowered. I mean, you can kind of say this, but it is in some ways broken. And yeah, at least the bombers, at least they are broken. At least against light cruisers. The torpedo bombers are also a bit broken if you have, able to drop them on battleships that have used damage control. You get a lot of floods because the flood chance of torpedo bombers is also really high. So you can also say that Wargaming has kind of made them so strong, like in terms of their base stats. Like, look at that. I'm just dropping AP bombers. Just with the penetration damage, I just literally killed this Vermont. Like, did like, what, 16, 17,000 damage. And I got a Kraken, 5 kills. So in some way, I would also say that the base numbers of Malta right now are pretty broken. Like, why they have so much damage potential of these torpedo bombers. It's insane. And that's pretty much, in my opinion, very, very strong. And they should not be having that much damage. I mean, they should be even more strong if they would have even less alpha damage than 5,000. But still, they did that. And I don't know. That's how they think that it is balanced. I mean, they literally have buff torpedo bombers. But, well, this is how Malta is really. And, well, I can only give some tips and tactics. And you can clearly see that if you know how to play Malta, you can get a lot of like power strikes, and you can give yourself a really good chance in winning the game. In this case, dropping this poor midway, obviously, I told about that. The carriers are also pretty vulnerable against Malta torpedo bomber strikes. And you can also use AP bombers, by the way. But, well, as you can see, I sent the torpedo bombers here, and you will be able to find out that how much I can actually do damage. Let's see how much damage I can pull out. I think I almost did like at least 19,000 damage. I'm exactly not sure. But you can clearly see how much damage ticks once I get to 173k damage. So, yeah, it is definitely very insane. Now, I'm sure that the Malta will die. And the game is almost over, as you can see, 984 points. Eventually, this game is going to be over. But Midway killed the Ohio. Ohio killed the Midway, which is pretty nice. And now I'm trying to drop this Holland. And, well... he's pop defensive AA. Holland having really good AA, by the way, in this game. But still, you can see the Malta planes are really tanky, and he's having still a decent struggle in shooting down some of my planes. Now, in this case, for some reason, I just only got 2 rocket hits. This doesn't happen like that. You usually get a lot much more rocket hits. But still, he was lucky at the end, and the game finally ends. And this is basically Malta in a nutshell. Even though it is 174k damage, but as you can see in the team score, it shows that you did something really well in Malta. 2.5k base XP almost. My division mates played really well. They're playing Gudonleo and German, which again helps a lot since they have defensive AFR. So they can be strong against aircraft carriers in some way, but that's what it is. But as you can see in the detail report wise, okay, Malta is really flexible. I dropped the AP bombs on Vermont, dropped torpedo bombers on Wisconsin. These are battleships, that's fine. But then you also dropped torpedo bombers on heavy cruiser like Johan de Witt. Did some rocket damage with Hindenburg. You are so flexible. You can drop on DDs, you can drop on Minotaur, you can do a lot of damage. You can even do a lot of damage on the Midway. As you can see, I almost did like 19,000 damage. Changmu, poor guy, chunked for 4,000. Holland, chunked for 1.5k damage. So across all classes, you have done really good damage. And this is really the strength of the Malta. And the weaknesses are there, like really poor hull, like you are vulnerable to get Citadel, but why you need to push in if you just play at safe ranges? Because that's what carriers really are. You just play safely, and you will have more reward while not having a shot at taking risks. So it's pretty insane. Honestly, it's ridiculous. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked this content and commentary. And if you liked it, if you have any questions, please let me know. Please let me know in the comments below, and I will definitely try to explain something. Maybe if you need to, whatever you need to know. And thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you into the next one. Peace out.